Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jugnu Choria. This video is the first video of our series Learn C++ Programming in a Best and Easy Way. You will get many YouTube videos for learning C++. And some videos are also claiming that learn C++ in 1 hour or 2 hours. But they provide only glimpse of C++. While watching my content, I am guaranteeing you that the content I am giving you is far more better than the other channels and other platforms that are teaching C++, and also it will be very easy to understood and grasp my content. Now let's start with this video. Now in this video we'll be learning basics of C++. Then in our upcoming videos we will know how to set up your environment for coding C++, and we will set up environment for coding in all three platforms, that is Linux, Windows and mobile. Here we will be starting with a term called as tokens. Now tokens are the smallest unit of a program which is recognized by a language processor. Here language processor means compiler. In case of Python it is an interpreter. Now what is compiler and interpreter? Compiler and interpreter both contain set of rules that a program should follow. If it is not following, it gives out errors. The difference between compiler and interpreter is that compiler compiles the whole code, but in case of interpreter, it checks the set of rules line by line. So both the language processor, compiler and interpreter are used to process our program, that is to make it run, and also to check whether it is correct or not. Now coming back to tokens, let us understand this with an example. जैसे कि हम सभी थिएटर जाते हैं मूवीज़ देखने के लिए, तो मूवीज़ देखने के लिए हमें टिकट लगती है. उसमें भी कई अलग अलग प्रकार के टिकट्स रहती है, वैरायटी ऑफ टिकट्स आर देयर. सो सिमिलरली कोड लिखने के लिए हमें टोकन्स की ज़रूरत है. टोकन्स के बिना हम कोड नहीं लिख सकते. तो कोड में जो कुछ हम लिखेंगे वो टोकन्स है. एंड वी कैन से दैट एनीथिंग रिकॉग्नाइज्ड बाय लैंग्वेज प्रोसेसर इज अ टोकन एंड अदर्स आर ट्रीटेड एज एरर्स. शुद्ध भाषा में समझे तो जो भी हम अपने प्रोग्राम में लिखते हैं वो उसमें सभी टोकन्स रहते हैं. उस टोकन्स के अलावा अगर हम और कुछ लिखते हैं तो कंपाइलर हमें एरर देता है. बेसिकली टोकन्स आर डिक्शनरी ऑफ लैंग्वेज. टोकन्स आर फर्दर क्लासिफाइड इन 5 कैटेगरीज, दैट इज कीवर्ड, लिटरल, आइडेंटिफायर, ऑपरेटर एंड पंक्चुएटर्स. In this video, we'll be knowing only about keywords and literals. Anything we use to write a program in C++ comes from these 5 categories only. So if you understand these 5 categories carefully, then you can write any program and also understand any program. Anything we will use to write a program are categorized on these 5 categories only. So from here, be focused and active in this video. Let's start with keywords. Keywords are predefined reserved words which convey special meaning to a language processor. Some of the examples of keywords are char, if, else, while, for, auto, float, int, etc. There are many keywords in C++. जब भी हम कीवर्ड यूज़ करते हैं, कंपाइलर कीवर्ड के हिसाब से ही काम करता है. जैसे हमने एक वेरिएबल बनाया खैर का, तो कंपाइलर will assign certain rules to that variable that this should contain only कैरेक्टर वैल्यूज़. प्रोग्राम लिखते समय जो टोकन सबसे ज़्यादा यूज़ होता है वो कीवर्ड ही है. आई होप यू अंडरस्टैंड द कंसेप्ट ऑफ कीवर्ड्स. नाउ कमिंग टू आवर सेकंड टॉपिक, दैट इज लिटरल. Literals are the values created using alphabet or numbers which are stored in corresponding variables. Now here variables you can understand as a container in which you can store numbers, alphabets, special character and many more depending on data type with which it is declared. In C++ there are many data types which we use to declare variables. When we put values to these variables contain set of rules on the basis of these data type that the variable declared with certain data types contain certain range of values, and beside these range cannot put the values in variable. For example, we declare a variable of data type int. Now int here means integer, so here we declare a variable of integer data type. So this variable can store a certain range of values depending on the data type. So literal के अंदर जाने से पहले हम C++ के data types देख लेते हैं. So basically there are three category of data types in C++, that is fundamental data types, derived data types, and user defined data types. So literals are basically categorized mainly on the basis of fundamental data types. But let's see these all three types of data types. जैसे कि आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर फंडामेंटल डेटा टाइप्स के अंदर हमारा आ रहा है कैरेक्टर, बुलियन, फ्लोटिंग पॉइंट, डबल फ्लोटिंग पॉइंट, वॉइड. अब ये इंटीजर के अंदर हमारे नॉर्मल इंटीजर आ जाते हैं, कैरेक्टर के अंदर अल्फ़ाबेटिकल कैरेक्टर और स्पेशल कैरेक्टर और वगैरह वगैरह. बुलियन के अंदर ट्रू, फॉल्स, 0, 1 इस टाइप की वैल्यूज़ आती है इस वेरिएबल डेटा टाइप के अंदर. फ्लोटिंग पॉइंट के अंदर आपको डेसिमल वैल्यूज़ मिलेगी और डबल फ्लोटिंग पॉइंट के अंदर आपको और ज़्यादा बड़ी वैल्यूज़, डेसिमल पॉइंटेड वैल्यूज़ मिलेगी. और लास्टली वॉइड मतलब कुछ नहीं, नो मतलब उसके अंदर कोई डेटा नहीं रहता. वॉइड मतलब खाली, इस टाइप से समझ सकते हैं. तो अगर कोई डेटा टाइप अपन को वो नहीं करना है, बेसिकली वॉइड इज़ यूज्ड इन फंक्शन ओनली. जब हम फंक्शन बनाते हैं और हमें कुछ डेटा रिटर्न नहीं करना है फंक्शन से, तो हम वॉइड यूज़ करते हैं. We'll be get into this later on. Now next is derived data types. Now in derived data types there are functions, array, pointer, reference. अब इन सब के बारे में हम बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे. Later on there will be videos on all these. Now there comes user defined data types. Now user defined means जो पहले से ही built in data types है उन्हीं का यूज़ करके नए कस्टमाइज्ड डेटा टाइप्स बनाना, ये यूज़र डिफाइंड डेटा टाइप्स के अंदर आता है. यानी कि इन कीवर्ड्स की यूज़ करके वी कैन मेक ए न्यू कस्टमाइज्ड डेटा टाइप फॉर आर रिक्वायरमेंट. दीज कीवर्ड्स आर क्लास, स्ट्रक्चर, यूनियन, enum, टाइप. वी विल डिस्कस ऑल दीज लेटर ऑन आर अपकमिंग वीडियोस. सो हियर आर मेन फोकस इज ऑन फंडामेंटल डेटा टाइप्स. नाउ फंडामेंटल डेटा टाइप्स as we have seen contains 5 main categories, that is int, float, double, char and bool. Bool is basically boolean values. Now we have not included void as it is not required here. Now beside data types there is one more term here we will discussing is a modifier. Now what is modifier? As the name suggests, modifier means to modify. So the modifier are used to modify these built-in data types, that is int, char, float, double. So there are mainly 4 modifiers, that is short, long, signed, unsigned. Now let's understand these. पहला है short. Now short जैसे नाम से ही पता लग रहा है कि short, तो ये अगर कोई भी built-in data type के साथ यूज़ होगा, mainly it is used with int only, तो ये उसकी रेंज को शॉर्ट कर देगा. We will also see the ranges of all these कि किसकी कितनी रेंज है, अभी यहाँ पर देखेंगे अभी. Now next is long. Here also as the name suggests long. So ये यानी कि कोई भी बिल्ट इन डेटा टाइप के साथ यूज़ होगा तो उसकी रेंज को बढ़ा देगा और लॉन्ग कर देगा. एंड नाउ नेक्स्ट कम्स साइंड. नाउ साइंड मॉडिफायर basically specifies that it modifies the data type to contain both negative and positive value in the range of built-in data types. Now next comes unsigned. अब unsigned में क्या होता है? signed का अपोजिट. signed में पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव दोनों थी, unsigned में सिर्फ पॉजिटिव वैल्यूज़ रहेगी. तो unsigned में मतलब यानी कि जो नेगेटिव और पॉजिटिव दोनों का यानी कि जो एडअप होके जो आएगा वो रहता है. You will understand this in more clarity when I will show you the range chart of these all. So उससे पहले हम एक और चार्ट देख लेते हैं जिसमें बिल्ट इन डेटा टाइप्स और मॉडिफायर्स के टोटल कॉम्बिनेशंस हम देखेंगे, यानी कि उनको डिफ़ाइन करने के, यानी कि किस तरीके से डिफ़ाइन किया जा सकता है. नाउ हियर यू कैन सी दिस चार्ट इज़ वेरी 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 इंपॉर्टेंट. नाउ here you can see that integer data type can be modified as signed int, signed short int, signed long int, also unsigned int, unsigned short int or unsigned long int. Similarly now double can be modified as long double and character can be modified as signed char or unsigned char. हाँ, इस चार्ट को लेके काफ़ी लोग बहुत कंफ्यूज रहते हैं, क्योंकि कंफ्यूजन इस चीज़ का रहता है कि जैसे कि शॉर्ट इंट लिखा है तो शॉर्ट इंट से हम एक वेरिएबल डिक्लेयर कर दे रहे हैं, तो क्या उसमें यानी कि सिर्फ शॉर्ट लिख के कर सकते हैं, या फिर लॉन्ग इंट का यूज़ कर रहे हैं तो क्या सिर्फ लॉन्ग यूज़ कर सकते हैं. तो शॉर्ट लॉन्ग जब हम यूज़ कर रहे हैं तो वो यानी कि उसमें प्री डिफाइंड पता है अपन को कि ये इंटीजर ही है, तो अपन को इंट लिखने की ज़रूरत नहीं रहती। जैसे कि आप यूज़ करोगे तो शॉर्ट लॉन्ग, सिर्फ लॉन्ग लिख के ही वेरिएबल डिक्लेयर कर दोगे तो काम हो जाएगा, शॉर्ट लिख के भी यूज़ कर दोगे तो तब भी काम हो जाएगा। तो पहले के कंपाइलर में एक रहता था लॉन्ग लॉन्ग, तो अब वो लॉन्ग लॉन्ग अभी नए C++ स्टैंडर्ड में नहीं, यानी कि एक लॉन्ग ही लगा देंगे तो वो यानी कि लॉन्ग रेंज हो जाती है इंटीजर की। एंड सिमिलरली वैसे जैसे हम अनसाइंड शॉर्ट इंट लिख रहे हैं तो अपन अनसाइंड शॉर्ट बस लिख सकते हैं, या फिर अनसाइंड लॉन्ग बस लिख सकते हैं। अनसाइंड लॉन्ग इंट और अनसाइंड लॉन्ग दोनों ही सेम है, तो इस तरीके से इनको यूज़ कर सकते हैं। वी विल इम्प्लीमेंट दिस ऑन आवर नेक्स्ट वीडियोज़। Now, as we have seen fundamental data types, now literals are classified on the basis of these fundamental data types. These are classified as numeric literal, float literal, double literal, character literal, and boolean literal. Now we will get into these one by one. Let's start with numeric literal. Numeric literal are further classified in 4 categories. These are decimal integers, octal integers, hexadecimal integers, and binary numbers. Now some of you have been heard this octal integer, hexadecimal integer, or binary number. Let us understand this with an example. As in Latin language, we call 5 as penta, 6 as hexa, 7 as hepta, 8 as octa, and 10 as deca. So now similarly here, decimal number system uses 10 digits. Why 10? As the name suggests, deci means 10. So it uses 10 digits, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So in maths, basically we uses decimal number system. By using these 10 numbers, we can form any number. But besides that, there are other systems also, other number systems also. So octal number system is another system which uses only 8 digits to make number. These 8 digits are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So these 8 digits are used to form any number. In this number system, 8 and 9 are not present. Similarly, hexadecimal number system is there. In hexadecimal number system, it uses 16 digits to form a number. Now you will thinking how 16 digit is possible. When after 9 there is a 10, so 10 is not a unique digit. So here hexadecimal number system uses a certain character values also. So after 9 it uses A, B, C, D, E, F. So by comprising of these characters, there are total 16 unique digits. So by using these digits in hexadecimal number system, we can form any number. Now here A, B, C, D work as digits. As you can see in this chart, here here if you convert A in decimal number system, then it is 10, B is 11, C is 12, D is 13, E is 14 and F is 15. So here ABCD is unique digits of hexadecimal number system. And now coming to binary number system. Now as we know, bi means 2, tri means 3. So here name suggests as binary number system. So it uses only 2 digits, that is 0 and 1, to write any number. So and also we know that our computer system only uses binary code to compute and work on our instructions and operations. And also when we write our code in C++ or in any other language, and when we compile it, then it gets converted to assembly language code. Then this code is converted to machine code, and then machine code is processed directly to processor. Now all these 4 categories of numeric literals will be stored in integer data types, that is int. Now the octal, hexadecimal and binary numbers are pretty much different from decimal number system, which is common to us. So octal, hexadecimal and binary numbers system uses some set of rules to represent them. So we will see them one by one. Now here, starting with decimal integers, we will see the range of decimal integers supported by C++. So the range are decided by different types of data type. The range here we will knowing is as per latest C++ standard. So starting with the short int. Now its range is from -32768 to 32767. So here it is comprising both negative and positive values. So it is predefined signed. मतलब यानी कि हमको साइंड यूज़ नहीं करना है. अगर हम साइंड शॉर्ट इंट भी लिखेंगे तो उसका मतलब भी यही है. तो अगर हम वेरिएबल नॉर्मली डिक्लेयर करते हैं, पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव दोनों वैल्यू रेंज के अंदर कंटेन करता है. बेसिकली साइज ऑफ short data type is 2 bytes. The maximum data it can hold is 2 bytes. 1 byte comprises of 8 bit. So 2 bytes means 32 bit. So maximum of a 32 bit integer it can store. Now coming to next, that is unsigned short int. Now it contains only positive values. That is 0 to 65535. Now here is the interesting part. Now if you add the above range, that is -32768 to 32767 without any sign, then you will get this number 65535. So here number of numbers in the range are same in both short int and in unsigned short int. Now coming to next, that is int. Now int data type comprises a size of 4 bytes and its range is from, as you can see in the screen. I am telling you one more time that it is predefined signed. That's why it is comprising of both negative and positive values. Now coming to next, that is unsigned it. Now in unsigned it, that we have done in short int, that we have added the both negative and positive part to get the unsigned short int. Similarly here, if you add both of these without the sign, then you will get these unsigned int range. Here also it is of 4 byte only, as the number of numbers are not changing. Coming to our next data type, long int. Long int comprises of 8 bytes, as you can see the range in the screen. Then the next is unsigned long int. The range of unsigned long int is pretty much larger, and it can be stored in one variable. Beside this number that is shown in unsigned long int, this is the last number a variable can store. Beside this, C++ cannot store larger number than this in a variable. Now there are certain methods by which we can store larger number in certain data types, but in a variable it is a last number that it can store. It is very important to remember that. But in case of Python can store much larger number than this. Suppose we want to calculate factorial of 700, then the factorial of 700 would be a very large number. So C++ can't store it. But in Python we can easily calculate the factorial of 700, as it can store large numbers. In C++ we can make it store large numbers, but it requires some extra methods that we will see later. One more thing to clarify you, that if you use only long, that is without int, that is only long, then its meaning is same as long int on. And also if you used unsigned long without int, that is unsigned long, then its meaning is same as unsigned long int. And also this is true in case of short also. Also when you will get into competitive coding, then they will give you some constraints in the questions, that the variable or function you are using in the program should follow this constraint with limitations, that this should not exceed 10 to the power 9 or 10 to the power 18, 10 to the power 19. So that's why I have written here that unsigned long int is 10 to the power 19. So from here you can make difference. So if in a question it is given that a variable range should be from 0 to 10 to the power 9, so you have to use that int or unsigned int. Or if it is given that the variable range should be from -10 to the power 18 to 10 to the power 18, so you have to use long int. Also this chart is very important, और ये चार्ट आपको कहीं नहीं मिलेगा, यानी कि पूरा एक पन्ने के अंदर, यानी कि पूरा सब कुछ लिखा है, ये तो कहीं नहीं मिलेगा, कोई यूट्यूब चैनल में भी नहीं मिलेगा. सो I have made many efforts, so please subscribe my channel. Coming to our next topic, that is octal integer. Now in octal integer, I have told you that it contains only 8 digits. By these 8 digits, any number can be formed. It does not contain 8 and 9. Okay. And also there will be series on this octal, hexadecimal and binary number system, so you will understand in deep, so that you will easily understand how to convert octal to decimal or hexadecimal to octal, or octal to binary or hexadecimal to binary in a pretty much easy way. So in C++, octal integers contain 0 in starting. Any number containing 0 at the starting is considered as octal in C++. If you make a variable and initialize it with 051, then this 051 is an octal integer. And if you will convert this octal integer into the decimal form, is 41 in decimal. Now when you will initialize this 051 octal value in a variable, then the variable will not store 051 as it is. It will convert it into its decimal equivalent, that is 41, then it will store it. Or here I have written basis 8 in octal values and basis 10 in decimal values. I hope you understand octal integers. Now coming to our next topic, that is hexadecimal integers. Now hexadecimal integers are also same as octal integers, but here representation is different. Now any number starting with 0 capital X or 0 small x is treated as hexadecimal integer. If you make a variable and initialize as 0x123. Now here 0x is for representation only, that 123 is a hexadecimal value. Now when it is initialized to variable, then the variable will not store 0x123. It will store its decimal conversion. So here 123 is a hexadecimal value. So the conversion of 1 to 3 is equal to 291 in decimal conversion. Now similarly here 0xff. Here ff is a hexadecimal value. So here the decimal equivalent of ff is 255. If you use computer, then sometimes you have seen this hexadecimal value in some of the errors. If you use Windows 10, then in Windows Store, if there any error comes, then it gives the error code in a hexadecimal format. Similarly, if any website server is down or it gives some error, then it is also in a hexadecimal format. From here we come to know that hexadecimal number system has a pretty much important role in computer science. Now coming to our next topic, that is binary number. In binary number, whenever you are using binary number in C++, you have to use a prefix 0b or capital B or a small b, 0 capital B or a small b in a binary number, so that compiler recognize it that it is a binary number. And if you initialize it with any variable, then it converts it into its decimal equivalent, then stores it in the variable. For example, here we are using 0b101 as a binary number. Now here 101 is binary number and its decimal equivalent is 5, and we have used 2 as base in binary number and 10 as base in decimal number. Now there is another example, that is 111. Now 111 is equals to 4267. Now here we have ended with numeric literal. Now coming to our next topic, that is float literal. Now what is float literals? Float literals are created using 4 byte. A 4 byte decimal pointed value is known as a float literal. As you can see example in the screen, there is not much more to discuss in float literal. Now coming to double literal. Now double literal, the name suggests double. It is double of the float value. So what double is a 8 byte fractional value, and it can store much larger decimal pointed value. This is the difference between float and double. Now coming to our next important topic, that is character literal. Now character literal are classified in 2 groups. These are char literal and string literal. Now let's understand first char literal. Anything enclosed in a single quote is called char literal, and they are created using 1 byte. Examples. Now here one important thing to tell you. Char data type is treated as integer data type, as because these characters means alphabetical characters, special characters, numbers 0 to 9, these all contain some ASCII code. ASCII means American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Now these all contain some codes, as you can see in this screen. So whenever we initialize any character to a variable, then it stores this ASCII code. Now coming to string literal. String is a group of chars enclosed in double quotation and always terminated by a null operator. Now what is null operator? As you can see in the screen, the null looks like this: slash and 0. For example, as you can see, my name is written in double quotes. Now here you can see in table my first character is indexed as 0 and the last character, that is terminating null, is indexed as 5. So when we store this in a variable and we print out my name, then only my name will be printed, null will not be printed. So it is stored beside in compiler. I hope you understand this. And also, if you are not getting all these, don't worry. When we will do practical of all these or we will implement these, then you will know all these. And I prefer you that you learn all these. If you learn all these, then the implementation part or practical part, when you will code, it will be very easy for you to understand and in getting the feel that what is happening. Now we will get into our last topic, that is Boolean literal. Now basically, what is Boolean values? Now Boolean values basically are true, false, 0, 1, these type of values. Now if you create a variable of data type bool, then it can store values, only two values, that is 0 and 1. You can initialize any condition, any number to this variable, or true or false to this variable, but it will store only in the format of 0 and 1. Suppose you initialize it with true, so it will store 1, and if you initialize it with false, it will store 0, and if you initialize it with any number other than 0, suppose 56, then it will store 1, and it will store 0 only when you will initialize it with false or 0 or any false condition, then it will contain 0. So this is all about Boolean literal. Now here we are ended with literals. Now let us see what we have studied till now. At the starting we have studied tokens. There are 5 types of tokens: keyword, literal, identifier, operator and punctuator. After that we have studied keywords. After that we have studied literals, then discussed types of data types in C++, then mainly focused on fundamental data types, then discussed types of literals, that is numeric literal, float literal, double literal, character literal and Boolean literal. These all we have studied in detail, and in next video we will learn identifier, operator and punctuators. Now if you like the content of my video, please do subscribe my channel and also click on like button, as it motivates to create content like this, and do share with your friend. At last, some important facts related to C++. C++ originated by Bjarne Stroustrup at AT&T Bell Lab. Also, it is not an entirely new language. C++ represents a significant extension of C abilities. The two main languages that contributed to design C++ are C and Simula 67. C provides some low-level features, and Simula 67 has provided the class concept. See you in the next video.